I'm here today with the Writer's Life for Me tag. I was tagged by Stephen L from Elf Books, so go over to his channel, check it out, it really is awesome. So without further ado, let's get to these questions. Question number 1 is, what kind of writer are you? I write fantasy fiction, mostly dark fantasy or epic fantasy mixed in with a bit of high fantasy. Basically everything fantasy. I have a novella and a novel that is set in the same elaborate fantasy world that is nearly complete. Almost, but not quite. I'm a perfectionist. I literally just can't turn away from it. It's ridiculous. I also have another series that's more in plot phase, but that one is really dark and involves demons and all kinds of crazy things like that. I also write poetry. I have since I was small, but I don't think any of that will see the light of day anytime soon. Question number 2 is, when did you start writing and what made you want to start writing? I've always had a wild imagination, so between writing and painting, I've pretty much been doing it since I was too small to understand either practice. My writing did give way to art over the years. However, at the beginning of 2014, I decided to try and write a novel, just because why not? I really wanted to see if I could. That, and I may have been having one of those what am I doing with my life spells, but I haven't looked back since. Question number 3 is, what inspires your stories? An image of a character usually appears to me, usually at the most random time as well. Like this once I was actually taking a bath at 2 o'clock in the morning and this entire story plot just came to me. And from there I pretty much just let it simmer in the back of my mind until it all falls into place. I figure out who they are, what are their dreams, what are their fears. And somewhere between all of that, a world was built and the plot reveals itself to me. That's basically how my 2 main series came to me. It's either a plot or a character, it's a scene, or literally just even an image of like a tree or something like that, and that's just how it sparks off. Question number 4 is, what themes do you like to explore in your writing? I don't particularly consider specific themes when I'm writing. I find they sort of unveil naturally as the story progresses. One thing I do very often though is push my characters to their utter limits. They feel a lot of profound loss, betrayal and horror throughout their journey. I love to see just how far I can push a character, whether or not they can rise again after, and what it takes for them to do so. I also enjoy questions such as, what does it take to redeem a soul? Can a single act of selflessness, such as sacrificing yourself, outweigh all the bad you've done over the years? Things like that. Question 5. Are you a pantser or a plotter or a bit of both? I am definitely a bit of both. I have to have some kind of plot. I can't just start writing and then somehow have a world just pop around it. But I always keep my plot very lax. I have my main scales for plot, and from there I work out certain situations or plot points that I need to be in the story. But how I get there is often open to change as I write my way to the ending. I always know the ending before I start though, of each and every book that I write. Question 6 is, where are you at in your journey? Querying, agented or published? At the moment I'm going through what was my final prepping stages. Then my ideas started going all over the place, which is never a good thing, so I'm back to tweaking my plot and working out the final little things that I want to add to the story. Question 7 is, have you ever entered any writing contests? I took part in one at the end of 2014. It was countrywide and I never won, but to be fair I entered like a week before because I only found out about it like a week before, so I never actually expected to win in the first place. Question 8 is, who are your writer heroes? Mark Lawrence for sure. He has a certain spark to his writing that not many people possess. I know he has been called a poet at heart, and that is definitely a good possibility. Everything he writes is just so filled with love, and I would love to have the same effect with my writing one day. Other than him, I definitely hail Patrick Rothfuss as one of the best writers currently out there. His work is spectacular and it draws you in completely, which is definitely something I aim to do with my own work. Question 9 is, have you ever been to a writing conference? If so, share your best or worst experience. Unfortunately, I have yet to be to any form of writing conference, so I have no stories to tell you. But if I ever do and I find a hilarious story, you'll be the first to know. Question 10 is not really a question, but it is the top 3 tips you would give to newbie writers. Number 1. Characterization is important. Characters carry your plot forward and they keep people interested in your story. If you cannot relate to your characters, you have a very big problem. That is not to say your characters have to be good. They can be evil or downright jerks. But they have to have a touch of reality in them that the reader can link to. So develop your characters any way you can, even if it means going to a restaurant, sitting down and being the strange person that stares at everybody. Studying human behavior can be a huge help. Number 2 is plot. Your character can be the most gorgeous and self-proclaimed hilarious person around. But if I have to go through 150 pages to find out this person's of existence is nothing interesting whatsoever, I will not be very happy. Add in twists, make your characters lose. That is when you get to really know them and you actually get to the bottom of the story. Now of course you don't have to run around killing all their loved ones to achieve this, which I know a lot of people like to do. Just make sure there are high stakes involved and show the consequences of stupid decisions. Because as much as we all prefer to believe we're smart, we all make mistakes. So no Mary Sues. They are not real, and ironically, the best fantasy is actually very much dipped in reality. Lastly, writing. My advice is, as much as you think you know, you don't know enough. There is always something more to learn with this, and in order to present your story in the best possible way, you need to keep improving your writing. Too many times I've come across a book where the story is brilliant, like the idea is so amazing, but the writing is just a complete letdown. You don't have to take fancy courses, just go online, there are plenty of resources out there, and also read a lot. Subconsciously, you'll start to get the idea. The most important thing is to find the right balance between showing and telling that works for your story. And also please avoid passive writing. Passive writing is such an easy mistake to fix. And if you don't write, I suppose you don't notice it as much, but trust me, as someone who does write, it really annoys you. Or maybe it's just me, I don't know, but no passive writing, please. I also realized that was probably more than 3 points, but you get the idea. There's my advice. Take it if you want it, ignore it if you want. It's your life and it's your work. And that is the end of my advice / rant type thing. If you enjoyed, leave a like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!